I feel like it was so representative of like Tony. You know what I mean? Like it's a Tony thing
Yes.
to do.
Oh, yeah. Funniest person on earth was because he's dead. Spoiler alert.
Oh, this I go I am a god.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Kess,
And I'm Becca.
and welcome to Act 4. To get started today, I stole the time stone. And thanks to my thieving skills, we are going down memory lane and we'll be discussing the first Avengers movie to feature some of our favorite Marvel superheroes, aka the Avengers.
So in this initial section, we'll focus on our opinions and we'll begin by summarizing the movie and then provide our thoughts on it. So basically, when Loki steals the Tesseract to summon an alien army to conquer Earth, Nick Fury, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., assembles a team of superheroes to stop him. The team includes Tony Stark as Iron Man, Steve Rogers as Captain America, Thor as Thor, Bruce Banner as the Hulk, Natasha Romanoff as Black Widow, and Clint Barton as Hawkeye. So, despite their initial conflicts, the Avengers unite to stop Loki and his alien forces in the Battle of New York. They close the portal, defeat the invaders, and capture Loki, establishing themselves as Earth's mightiest heroes. So, Cass, what are your opinions on the movie? I know it's not the first time we're watching it. I think it's like the fourth time. So, basically, what do you think?
Honestly, what can you not say about the Avengers? Like I think it's one of the greatest, like till to date, it's one of the greatest superhero movies. Like if you really think
Yeah.
of like coming together and to like really support each other and make a team and let's slay some
Mm-hmm.
people, they did a really good job overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are my initial
And
thoughts.
I mean, it's the beginning of everything. And it like introduces
Yes.
us to like the really foundation of like the Avengers. And I mean, at the end, we get to see Thanos, which I might add that Thanos's color changes, which is a bit weird because
Yeah.
you remember like I don't want to get into like the later movies, but like I got like a little jump scare when I saw Thanos in this one because
Oh.
I forgot like his original color, and then I
Mm-hmm.
realized, well, what happened to him? Is it like the atmospheric changes? Is it like just him getting angry or like him feeling different emotions? It's weird. I don't know, but it was
Yeah.
really a good movie. Like it's the kind of movie that really settles not really settles but like set the basis for everything that's come about to come, and in a really good way.
Yes, I agree. Like it's literally the introduction to one of the like most iconic, greatest franchise of movies, not just like
Yeah.
superhero, like in general, like long-lasting franchise today. Even though today,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, the movies
Yeah.
are so if you ask me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, maybe I'm gonna play the devil's advocate when I say this, but for me, I feel like if I was to watch, because I didn't watch it when it came out, but if I
Mm-hmm.
was to watch it in like 2012, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
personally I wouldn't be too interested in what happens next. Because for me, I feel
Okay.
like in the movie there's a lot of like dialogue or like and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like there's not, for me it was for a superhero movie, there wasn't like bunch of like superheroing, like it was really talking very comic book kind of style, like with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like dialogues and funny scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it felt, for me it felt a little flat, but maybe it's because I'm comparing it to like later movies, you know because I
Yeah.
don't know, like did
Yeah.
that happen with you, like?
Not really, because the thing is,
Ooh.
in contrary to you, I like did not compare it to the later movies because I wanted to watch it in the perspective of someone who only like is watching the first one and not the others. So for me, it was really
Yeah.
interesting because like I think 2 years ago, I actually decided to do like an MCU marathon whereas I would watch every single like Marvel movie in order and then
Um,
like, you know,
I was with you.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Well, you were with me, but well, yeah. When we decided to do that, there are plenty of the movies that I hadn't seen, so a lot of them were like surprises for me. But I mean, I think
Yeah.
I said that in the 22 Jump Street like episode, in the sense
Mhm.
that I never really like to compare like movies, even though there's sequels and everything. I feel like it can stand on its own, and yes, sometimes you can judge like cinematography and the way like it was directed and like the CGI and everything. But in terms of like the plot, I think it's really good because if it was only action and we didn't get to see like the characters interact that much, um, it wouldn't be the adventures. I mean, for example, the scene
Yeah.
between like Thor and Iron Man when they were fighting, they were talking a lot.
Yeah.
Yet I feel like it was so representative of like Tony. You know what I mean? Like it's a Tony thing
Yes.
to do.
Oh, yeah. Funniest person on earth was because he's dead. Spoiler alert. I mean, if you haven't seen the last movies, you're a little late. So, anyways, so you spoke about Loki, right? I feel like as a first like let's get together movie, Loki was probably the most genius villain. Because is he a villain? Well,
Yeah.
he is a villain. Is the most perfect villain that you could have. And it really like if you watch like the movie and you don't know that other movies are coming up, I feel like you'd be like, oh yeah, he needs to come back, you know? But I feel like now, if
Yeah.
you really think of Loki, I feel like his villainous or like the bad, like him as a bad, like a villain, it's really like
Hmm.
it's not really present anymore. So do you
Well,
think like that, like his character kind of went downhill like after the first movie?
I think you're right, but in the sense that Loki was always an anti-hero. So I
Yeah.
think
Yes.
in the first Avengers movie he was like I think the best character to like establish everything. But because the first Thor was like before the Avengers, so like we got to meet Loki as well. So I think
Yeah.
in a sense, like, I don't know, it's just, I just lost what I was saying, but hopefully you guys
Oh,
caught up on what I was trying to say.
I feel there's a now maybe it's just me and what I watch, but a lot of people they try to justify why villains are villains a lot. And because of
Mm-hmm.
that, because you will feel bad for a villain, they don't hit
Mm-hmm.
like as much as they used to. Like they made a whole entire like series for Loki, which is great, you know? Like he's a very
Yeah.
popular character and I get it, but at the same time, it's like we don't like let him just be, a villain. Don't I
Mm-hmm.
personally for me, I don't need the justification of the why and the what's. Like he's villain, he's
Yeah.
bad, make him racist as well, you know? Anyways, that was a joke. That was a joke. I don't know. Where are the villains that I can just hate on and people are not like, well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Anyways,
for sure. Well, I mean, people will always defend like
yeah, that's
villains,
true.
even if they're like the psychopaths. Some people will still
Yeah.
defend them. But I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Like, I get it. But other than that, I think it was a good way to introduce like the OGs, and the
Yes.
cinematography was awesome. We got to see like the different like personalities like merging together.
Oh.
What else? We got to see, like I said, like interesting and really like fascinating fight scenes that are really captivating. And a bit like you, if I had seen the movie like in theaters, I think I would have like really, 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 really been more into the whole like MCU um lore, if I could say it like that. And the movie is like a really good like basis for the lore. So that's what I'd say. Honestly, I don't think I have anything more. I think we've been like talking about the same thing
Yeah.
for 15 minutes. So yeah, guys, I know some of you guys are like MCU fans, so if you really love the Avengers, especially the first one, let us know what you thought about the first movie. Let us know if you have like something you want to touch up on that we didn't mention. And with that being said, let's move on to the second segment. So, in this part, we'll explore the perspectives of reviewers on the movie and we'll examine feedbacks from platforms like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Letterboxd, and more. So, as of the day we're filming, which is the 23rd of June 2024, I was going to say 2023, Becca. The movie is rated at a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and 91% audience score, which is a tie. It's the first time we've seen a tie since we started the podcast. So, Kes, what is your first review?
So the first review that I have says, these Avengers movies should really be just called Iron Man does the most and saves our asses every time. I will forever be on Iron Man's team. And always, he's here to save the day. Yeah, sure, you got the others. But without him, are we sure? Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He's like bold with it too. So,
Exactly.
like he thinks out of like he really is good at thinking outside of the box and like saving the day. I agree. My first review says 2012 really changed superhero movies forever. And I mean, it did really, because it established like a new precedent for superhero movies, because it was not only like just people fighting each other, but it was like a regroupment of like characters or like superheroes from different comics that like got together and did something interesting. So
I agree. I truly agree.
Yeah.
So the next one that I have says, why do people still live in New York in the MCU? I would have moved out by the 5th alien invasion. Why is it still populated? Like, I know it's a little general, like it's a general comment, but it's like, it's so true. Like, literally, first time that happened, like in the Avengers, the alien invasion, I would be out. I don't know. We're going to Texas. We're going to California. We're going to Australia even. All right? We're not staying there.
Yeah, like what are we still doing here? Yeah, I agree. And even like if we think in general for like superhero movies, I don't get how people can just look at their cities getting destroyed and then like run away, like run 2 blocks away, hide. And then the next day when like after the fact that the superhero like saved the day and like saved everyone, they just go back to their normal everyday life and forget about the whole like the city destruction that just happened. I know.
Like I need therapy, I need insurance, I need everything.
Exactly, like the city just got like destroyed and you just like almost died, especially the ones that literally just saw like aliens. I'm pretty sure they didn't even believe in aliens like before that, and they just saw like aliens popping out of like the sky, and then the next day they just go back to their normal things.
I gotta go to the office today.
Yes, and also one thing that I've never understood is like, how do they like rebuild the city so quickly? Like a lot of the times in those type of movies, especially like when I saw like the Avengers, I was like, oh my god, the city is like so destroyed. I mean, did you see how Hulk was like destroying everything?
Yes.
And then I remember like later on, like the city was just fine. Every single time it gets like destroyed, the next day it's all fine. It's crazy. Okay, well, with that being said, guys, if you've read a review that like stuck with you or like you think is really fun and you want to share it with us, you can always comment it down below and we'll be thrilled to read it. And let's move on to the third segment.
All right, so for this third segment, it's all about the characters. All right, so we had to pick a character that we think deserves an Oscar, and it can be for any reason. It doesn't necessarily have to be for the actor himself or herself. And we had to pick another character, but that character has to be one that we think we would probably ace down the role of. All right, so for the characters, my favorite character, I mean, maybe you could probably guess because I said it earlier, I'm forever in his team, it's Iron Man. I
Yeah.
love Iron Man, not just because of like his abilities, even though he doesn't technically have any abilities. He's just anyways. I just love how funny it is.
Mm-hmm.
He is, sorry. And like
Yeah.
how sarcastic, hits right every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know? I don't know if you knew this, but apparently, while filming the movie, he would like hide food in the set and like would like randomly whip them out and eat them whenever he was hungry. So whenever you would see him eating in the movie, he would actually be eating.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's just the most hilarious thing ever. So yeah, Iron Man, my favorite, and the character that I would like to maybe try, act out as, it would be Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I feel like Loki is a fun
Loki, okay.
villain. Yes, he's a fun villain.
Loki.
So why not? That's it. That's my
Okay.
reasoning. Not too bad as
Okay, I
Thanos,
getcha.
because Thanos kind of freaks me out. And what's another villain? Ultron. Meh. And
yeah,
yeah.
Ultron.
So Loki. What about
Okay.
you?
Okay, I get you. Well, my award goes to a character that I think really shined in this movie, but it's not my favorite MCU character though.
Oh,
But it's it's not my favorite MCU character, but I think it's the character that like shined the most in this movie particularly because there's like plenty of Avengers movies, but I think in this one like it's the character that like it's his movie, And for me the character is the Hulk. I think he really had like good lines and I think he was like really there and really funny and I think like um yeah, I really appreciated his character in this movie. And the
I
character
agree.
I'd play, believe it or not, is Tony Stark as Iron
As you
Man.
should.
Because I think I would love to be like in the head of Tony Stark because like he's smart yet really witty and funny and like sarcastic.
Yeah.
So I think I would really love to like embody that character. So yeah, I went with Tony Stark / Iron Man. That was our third segment, guys. Who is your favorite MCU character or who was your favorite superhero in this movie particularly, who shined for you, and who would you like to play if you were ever offered the role of a super hero? Let us know in the comment sections and let's move on to the last segment.
In a movie, there's always those one-liners or like those dialogues or like those scenes that you're like, oh my lord, what a line, what a scene. And basically, we had to pick out and choose some of those lines, some of those scenes, and add them to our very own personal dictionary. All right. So the first one I feel like is basically the most iconic thing Nick Fury has ever said, and it's when he introduces the Avengers, when he says there was an idea. Stark knows this, called the Avengers Initiative. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if they could become something more, to see if they could work together when we needed them to fight the battles that we never could. Like, like that is what brings out afterwards the best thing in superheroes. Fight me on this. And yeah, the Avengers, amazing.
Yeah.
Other things, I really like everything that Tony Stark says, but one of the things that really made me laugh is when he speaks to Thor and he says, "Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?" I think that was really funny. And the last one that I have says, when Captain America says it, he says, "When I went under, the world was at war. I wake up, they say we won. They didn't say what we lost." And I feel like that's such a quote in general for everything that happens every time there's a war, every time somebody wins something. Like, think it's really, you can really relate it to life.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, you've went really philosophical with those.
Yes.
Let's say that I did not go that route at all. I just like
All good.
I just decided to pick up like some lines and punches that I thought were funny. I have two actually, not really that many.
Ooh.
The first one is when Thor was talking to Loki, and then all serious, like Thor was like, "Well, listen, well, brother," and then like he just got like swept away, and then Loki, all serious,
Yo.
was like, "I'm listening."
Oh, that's
just
the
thought-
most hilarious thing ever.
Yeah, I just thought that's funny because yeah. And also the second one that I picked is just because it's when the Hulk said to Captain America, "That's my secret captain. I'm always angry." I
Yes.
thought it was really interesting because well, for those who've seen like the later movies, like we see how like the Hulk changes and like, you know, he's scared and everything. And I think like this line is just like I don't know, it's like sacred for this movie because afterwards like we see some variation with the Hulk and everything. So for me that's the
I
second
agree.
line. And yeah, with that being said,
Yeah.
if you guys have another line, another quote that you thought was interesting, let us know. And that will conclude the end of this episode. We hope that you enjoyed listening, watching, wherever you are with us today. And do you have something to add, Cass?
In how many alien invasions do you think the Avengers would destroy your city? See you at the movies. Bye.
Bye.